save that screenshot of it. Probably have the stuff downloaded and saved, but it's been so long, I would have to do too much digging to try to find it right now. I'm one of those people like, I save everything, you know. I really do. I save just about everything, and then I back up everything, like my downloads and everything, before I get a computer. Uh, that was one of the things at my past job when I was on the desktop support team before getting promoted. Like I had the reputation of like I would have people from offices all over the country that would ship their computers to me, high level executives, because they didn't trust the techs in their own office to do it without the quick stuff. So I just got the reputation, like, once you get your computer back, you can hardly tell that, anything was done. I was so good at
all right, we're on YouTube.
up everything and restoring everything and reinstalling everything so that once they got it back, they'd be up and running and not have a lot of headaches. So. Let's see. I have a Partition Recovery Ultimate. Maybe that's in October 2018.
Oh, no.
That's it. Partition Recovery Ultimate.
All right, we're on YouTube.
I remember I tried different software to see what one I like best. Yeah, that's one way of doing it.
I was talking to Don that something with if somebody can make a picture small enough, so like when you're looking through a camera, and put it on the sticky side, like somebody gives it the finger, and you can put it over your camera on your laptop, so if they go to look, they see that image. I figured that would go pretty good. I thought.
Okay, guys, we're on YouTube. I sent Lorianne the link, so if she can send it to you guys, I don't know. If you guys want to see? I put your chat room on the screen, so. But that'd be interesting. That's cool. Yeah, so I can share this chat room.
All right, I'm there. I'll put the link to it in our chat room.
There you go. Yeah, cool.
Only a few of us left on.
Yeah, I should have did this earlier.
Still there.
Thank you. Yeah, I should have did this earlier. See that? They can't ban you, Robert. You'll kick me off. Really? Wow. I see Gloria in the chat there. I invited Tay. I don't know where he went. Wow. Interesting. I mean, I think that's where, like I said, it's good because Blog Talk Radio, too, with all its screwing up crap, I mean, they were down for almost 3 weeks, And we had nothing.
Yeah.
A lot of big media things happened. I mean, right when Trump got assassinated, attempted assassination on Trump, they took it down. Remember?
Yeah, that's when it started. The very next day when I was going to do my show, because it happened on a Saturday, and it was on Donnie's show. Donnie's show was working, and then I think Donnie's show got cut off early.
Yes.
That's when it started.
Yep.
Blog Talk hung up on him. And then the next day I couldn't do my show. And so we had all that going on, and then the RNC convention, they were down during all of that.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, you know, I'm like, this has to be on purpose. I can't, you know, the timing is just impeccable.
Yep.
And of course, then in their last outage, they made sure to get back up and running for good, just as their DNC was going on.
Yep.
You know.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It just ain't right. I mean, it's not right. It seems like they did it on purpose too. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then they were down before. Remember, it was over Memorial Day weekend.
Yep.
They were down then.
Yep.
So over a holiday weekend. And then what was the other? They were down when there was something else major going on too. I forget what. That I was just like, oh my God, we got this going on. I can't remember what it was, but they were down. That's when they went down in July, I think.
They were down a lot over the last 6 months. I
can't remember what happened.
Over the last 6 months, they were down a lot. But you know, one thing is we don't ban people and kick people off like these liberal state, like Liberal Dan. He banned me from there. I'm banned from his show. They got me blocked. You know, and because I disagree with the people in the chat room.
Well, I'll be nice, Joe, so that you don't get banned because of me.
I don't know. They feel like they got like a control because they can block you. I'm blocking you. Like it's like some kind of power trip, you know.
Well, I mean, I'll utilize it when I need to.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's some people that, you know, I have declared, you know, you're not welcome here. And as soon as I see them, I'll go in and block them from the chat room, and I definitely won't bring them on the call. Brother Warren was one of them like that, where I was like, okay, goodbye. You know, next time I see you, you're gone.
I'm curious.
In the chat room, when that, you know, white power forever troll comes in, I immediately block them in the chat room. I'm like, you have nothing of fucking value to say ever. No point in you coming and trolling
women that know how to use power tools.
Exactly.
I'm curious what happened to Brother Warren. He just like shriveled up and disappeared.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder who he was really working
I don't
for.
wonder. I don't miss him.
I don't miss him.
Probably under some other name, but you know, if he called in, he wouldn't be able to disguise his voice. I mean, we know his voice and we know how he talks. So yeah, he could be in another name on the chat room or something, but if he were to call in, we would all recognize him in a heartbeat.
Yeah, true.
Hey, not with some of these special deep fake voice, programs. I bet he could do it.
Well, that's true. Don't they have those microphones? Yeah. Yeah, you're right, John Doe. Those mixers, don't they mix those sound mixers? Don't they change your voice?
Yeah, some of them have the integrated, voice controls and stuff. You know, and this reminds me, like, okay, so do you guys ever remember the show Nikita? It was the TV show with Maggie Q.
Yep.
Mirrored after the movie La Femme Nikita and stuff with Bridget Fonda. So I recently rewatched that show because, I mean, my dog is named Nikita, right? That show is part of how I got the idea, for naming her Nikita, should she accept it. So I rewatched it, and, mind you, this is a show that was on, what was the years that it was on, like, I think it was on, like, 2005 to 2008 or some shit. I don't remember right. I'm not in front of my computer to look.
Yep.
But during one part of the show, they had the whole concept of using doubles. So the villains had created like a biological mask And so they would find people with the same like height and stature and stuff, and then they make this biological mask and, you know, do surgery or whatever. And then so they would kidnap, you know, they kidnapped the president of the United States. They kidnapped a lot of other top, like, you know, people around the world, and then replaced them with doubles, using this technology and stuff. And I'm just like, and I couldn't help but be reminded, like, how many times these shows are predictors for, like, what's actually happening or what actually is in development or what's going to be coming. You know, how they're kind of warning. And I couldn't help but think, but with Biden, you know, after he dropped out and stuff, and then he comes in appearance, and suddenly he's several inches taller, and and he's not walking with a hunch anymore, and you know what I mean? Like, and these uses of doubles that really look realistic. And so I couldn't help but think, like, I wonder if they've actually implemented that now. You know, because they would take their DNA and, you know, take their DNA or maybe even stem cells to make like live skin. So, you know, it wasn't like, you know, Mission Impossible kind of masks where it's fake. It's like actual real biological skin. So that, you know, even if they shedded skin or hair, you know, it would still pass the DNA test. You wouldn't be able to tell that they were doubles. And, you know, and so this was like back in, you know, 2005, 2008 or whatever.
Yeah.
With this whole concept. It really makes me wonder if, you know, if that technology is in use.
I think it is. I'm going to try to share my Rumble station, and because I played a clip from World War II on my podcast, and I wonder if they'll get audio over this. I don't know. Let me see. Here. Because that'll be because like I said, this is handy then, because then you play news stories and everything. You know, I don't know what you guys see now. You guys still see Robert's show? Yeah. Let me see here. All right, hang on here. So I got to play any more of this because this is content. This one.
I'm not in front of my computer at the moment, but I'll get back there in a minute.
Okay. All right. Let me see here. Oh, damn it. Come on. All right, here we go. Let me pause this.
Hey,
now, what's that, John Doe?
I was just going to reiterate this audio deepfake stuff. You can sample anybody's recordings of their voice, and then once you get that, I mean, it measures cadence, timbre, rhythm, stride, all kinds of different weird things, character of voice, texture. I don't know what all the different categories are, but anyway, once this thing samples your voice, or for example, if you had the software, you could sample recordings of Trump or anybody, and then it would. And this is about 5 or 6 years ago when I seen this.
Really?
And they had not perfected it. At that point, 5 or 6 years ago, it was still had a few bugs in it, but you could still tell that they were making it somebody, you know, that you normally would hear on TV or something. Now, naturally, people like you and me, they have to go to, you know, basically any of these podcast shows that run and then download all the files and then just send a bunch of our recordings or our voice into their little system, and once it does its little
it replays it. Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, and then add AI to that. You know, I think that's the next level, is using AI to not only but AI you get enough samples, and that AI can learn like how you speak as well. So the different mannerisms that you use, typical words that you use, all of that, and really be able to not tell the difference.
Yeah. See if you guys can hear this.
Audio stuff is AI, Lori.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is AI. But see if you guys can hear this. See if you can hear this audio. Can you hear that?
Nothing so far.
Hang on. Right on the way.
I have a black screen right now. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, hang on.
So now I see the screen
Okay.
on Rumble, but I'm not getting any audio.
Yep, I see the screen.
CBC audio.
In December 1944, American forces were pummeled by German panzer divisions in the Ardennes forest. It was a decisive moment in World War II.
I'm not getting any
Hitler
audio
would
of the
succeed
video.
in pushing back the
Only
approaching
your
Allied armies. If he can drive the Americans and the British all the way back to the coastline,
Sounds
he may be
right.
able to force them into a negotiated peace. Late in October, the Germans began secretly moving their units to points east of the Ardennes without arousing Allied suspicions.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting a little bit, but it's not
towards the western
muffled. It's
front.
kind of like
But
it's
officers in Allied
audio
intelligence refused to
Really?
on your
They all
phone,
agree
kind
the
of. It's
Germans
not
don't
like
have the
it's not
military
like
strength
integrated
for such
audio
an
with the
attack.
video.
Really?
On December 16th, a shattering
Oh.
barrage of German artillery and rocket fire lights the skies.
Let me check that down. All right. Stop. I can't stop it. Hang on.
Gloomy weather for the next several days provides effective
Hang on.
cover for the German
Now, how do I
right
stop
that
it?
turns
Stop
to the
here.
road.
Okay, stop here. Okay. I turn it down. Yeah, well, we're connected to the phone, so that could be a problem. That could be a problem. That could be one of the reasons why. Share screen. Back to Robert's show here.
Yeah, we're on. It might be that. Yeah, we're on this conference call and
Yeah.
being direct.
Yep.
Maybe that's it.
All right. Because I wanted to know if that could pick up the audio, but yeah, you're right. It was a little bit muffled. So how I integrate the audio? Well, maybe connect them on the phone. Who knows? See, it's always technical crap, man. They make it so easy, but they're gonna make it so convoluted and twisted that Dave just said that the audio is terrible on that's what he said. So he was watching.
Yeah, it sounded like your phone was picking up the audio versus, integrated audio being picked up internally.
Anyway.
And maybe that's why, like dueling microphones or something, between you using your phone and a laptop. So maybe you got to experiment with it sometime when you're not using your actual phone so that you're fully using just your laptop and audio and all that good stuff. So hey Robert, no crashing through your roof with that Starliner?
Nope, I'm still here. So I guess they did.
I'm sure Starliner would have landed, by now. We would have known.
Yeah, and if it landed anywhere close, I'd have heard something, but I didn't. Yeah, I'm wondering if you had a special guest sitting next to you you didn't recognize. No? Nobody sitting beside me. I'm in my studio all by myself.
Oh. Is Donnie C still out there?
That's Thursday. Donnie, you still there? Donnie Cinnamon?
I spoke with them on the phone, but then again, if I dropped out, they still see me, so I don't know.
Well, yeah, the switchboard is totally dead.
Yeah.
What is it?
Cinnamon's still there, I presume.
Yeah, I was just watching. Have a late night burger.
No. That's what I had today. A burger. It's just expensive, man, at the grocery store, man. 4 patties, freaking $8. Freaking ridiculous.
I just woke up. I was sleeping.
Oh, hey, Tiana.
Yeah, I think it's better for his life.
We're on YouTube, Bianca.
Oh, yeah?
Trying to do it like a multi-mixer tonight. Robert's show is going to be popular now.
Are you feeling better?
Yeah, I feel like
Good.
I was wondering why you were so quiet tonight. Oh, sorry, Cinnamon. We both started talking at the same
That's okay.
What did you say, Cinnamon?
I would have to ask you if it was the elevator music that put him to sleep.
I don't know. I think Bianchi might have just rolled back over and went to sleep again.
And the sergeant was zonked out. I can imagine he must be a snorer, Sarge. Wait for that. Man, he must have kept everybody awake in the barracks.
man, you said you had 4 hamburger patties cost you $8?
Yeah,
Good gracious.
yeah, it's crazy, man.
Heck, I bought 6 little catfish. They cost me about $15.
Food is crazy, man. The prices are just crazy at the grocery store down here. I mean, it's bad.
Yeah. Kroger just came out in court because they're trying to merge. I can't remember what grocery store chain they're merging with.
Albertsons. Yeah, the Kroger-Albertsons merge.
Yeah, and so the judge has to oversee it. And they were asking about prices. And Kroger explained that anything to go into the price is not just profit. And they broke it down into four different things, I think. I'll have to look it up. I had it saved for Crown Show, but yeah, fitness, gas prices for transportation, the shipping, the bad seasons that are going on. So like we're gonna have here in Michigan, we're gonna have a bad apple season. We had a bad cherry season, and they're talking about the bird flu that went through. So for chicken prices, and then supply and demand.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, we can't. People forget about the losses. You know, huge losses when they're having to cull millions of chickens. You know, and then corn meat. You know, the sliced meat from Listeria. So they had to recall all kinds of like ham and turkey slices and all kinds of shit from boar's head meat. From the Listeria outbreak and things, and so it's like, you know, people forget that you know, really, that cuts into the price of everything, you know, and that supply and demand factor. You know, there's massive losses because the stores have to go and take all those products out that they've already paid for. You know, they've already paid for that product to be shipped there, and for employees to place it on the shelf, price it and all that shit. And so whenever there's a massive recall like that, it's very expensive to go through.
Yeah, and they did they had to do a cull of the chicken twice that I know of. And yeah, it's pathetic.
Yeah, and you know what the real scam about it is I remember one of them, I think, you know, like it's something like 2 million chickens, or I can't remember the numbers, but they had to cull the entire flock because one chicken tested positive. And you know what test they're using is the PCR test. You know, the same PCR test that the creator said you can't, you know, determine if somebody's actually sick. You know, you shouldn't be using it to test for COVID or anything else. You know, they're using the PCR test. So one chicken has a positive test result with a PCR test. And as far as I know, they didn't verify it by any other means. And so you got to cull the entire, 1,000,000 or 2,000,000 chickens in the entire thing as a result. And so it is such a waste. It's not only a waste of food and money, but of just animal life. That's huge. That's horrible. And then how do they get called these chickens? That's what I want to know. All these articles never say exactly how they do it. How exactly are they killing 1,000,000 chickens or more at a time, all in one shot? How ethical of a means are they doing that?
I would think the easiest way to do it, because they're raised in these huge barns, and they just offload the chickens and set up the water and stuff, and just let it go until they're, the right size. I would think the easiest way to do it would just to be fill the barn full of gas.
Yeah, but that would require, it would have to be, really sealed, you know what I mean? You can't let a lot of that gas escape. They've got to have a lot of ventilation going on, for fresh air and everything, and so I don't know, how would they seal all the gas so that a lot of that gas doesn't escape and it's done quickly instead of, long and painfully, It's one thing to give them a concentrated shot of it to kill them instantly versus if that shit's leaking out through ventilation systems and stuff, then it's slowly gassing them, and taking something that would, maybe take them a couple of minutes to die versus 20 minutes to die,
Depending on the type of gas, they have to clean up the facility after they gas the chickens as they get into the water table through the ground or something. I mean, we've had mech suits and stuff. I've worked in a company a long time ago. We had to dress up in hazmat suits and clean up a bunch of junk.
Yeah, that's a really good question. And nobody seems to ask that. All these articles I ever read of these cullings because, we just this positive for bird flu. Gotta kill the whole fucking flock. It's I always wonder that. They never say exactly how are you doing this. And what are the environmental implications? Is this animal cruelty? Are they dying slow, painful deaths? These are the questions I wonder, and nobody asks that. Why? Why? You gotta wonder.
Well, their minds don't think that way.
And then what do you do with the body? Okay, so they have bird flu. They're supposedly infected. What do you do with the bodies of 1,000,000 chickens killed all at once? How do you? I mean,
That's the clip. They can tell you.
yeah.
Hey, one of the options might possibly be the crematories, but the funerals, they got some downtime, and we don't have enough people to cremate, so we'll just add our chickens to the crematory.
That'd be a long time to fit 1,000,000 chickens or more into crematoriums that are only built to do one person at a time.
Well, I would have a chicken or someone shoveling coal. Yeah. Just bring in a big dump truck and just keep shoveling.
Here's a thought. Or use a chute on a cement truck, ready to dump them out, shoot right down the chute.
Okay, you took it down a dark hole, Lorianne.
Oh, hey, John Doe.
They have a reputation for that as well.
Hey, John Doe.
What they do is those damn birds, they put them in a climbing through like that, and turns very, very slow. And then birds start off on one end, and the drum is about, I guess maybe 50 foot long, maybe long. And at the same time, it composts just like
John Doe. You know who I spoke to? I spoke Peter Ventura. Spoke to him a couple times this week.
Hey, awesome, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
Whenever you put chicken in that kind of composting situation, if that particular chicken's got a certain kind of virus, wouldn't that contaminate the compost? Yeah,
Well, I guess if they're burned adequately or something, I don't know, or treated adequately, it would probably kill. If it's a virus, you know.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Every day they go through the slaughterhouse to pick up some of their, put them in their compost. And when they change out the birds, they have what they have slaves over to go through fans back and forth throughout the house. And then beat up the floor, material on the floor. And it kills all those damn viruses, yapping beetles, and all that.
Hey, here's something rare. I just saw a lightning bolt and I heard thunder outside. And it's starting to rain a little bit. That doesn't happen often here in Oregon. We don't usually see lightning and have thunder. My dog's going crazy because she heard the thunder. Wow. Interesting. Exciting stuff. I know it's no big deal for most of y'all, but here in Oregon, we don't get thunder and lightning storms here very often. So it's exciting for me when we do. It's like, I want a tornado. You know, will a tornado come through? Maybe that'll be the answer to my fucking prayers, is if we have a tornado come through, destroys my house, I can make the insurance claim, and I'll get more for it than what I owe, and I can get out of debt. Come on, tornado!
Yeah, this summer we've had quite a bit of lightning and thunder and storms coming through here. Normally we don't. So this summer's actually been kind of interesting. Yeah, plus you got to think about it too. How many of these people that go through these tornadoes or all kinds of disasters, now they're just beating their head against the wall trying to get the insurance company to cough up the money so they can restart their life again, and in return, insurance agency can do is to deny you. Yeah.
Oh, I'd actually, drive over to our MaxiPad governor's desk and demand help. I am right here in Salem, by the way, so it wouldn't be far for me to go right to her office.
Yeah, and hey, it's a lot cheaper for them to bail you out than AIG.
Yeah, exactly. And they'd have to put me up when my house gets rebuilt and everything. So, I could be put up in a nice hotel and everything while they're rebuilt, get all kinds of assistance, and, I'd be rolling in the fucking dough. I'd be treated like an illegal.
I think you're having too much fun. Or is there actually a thing of having too much fun?
I don't think there is a thing of having too much fun. I've had too little fun. So I get excited easily. But I've always been like that. I've talked about it. I was a really strange kid. You know, I wasn't a small child that like cried and got scared when thunder and lightning happened. That's what I would actually just get excited, be like right there by the windows and stuff, and you know, and I would go to sleep. I would love to go to sleep with the thunder. You know, my mom just always said I was the weirdest kid that way, and I learned like when the tornado sirens went off, you know, in Minnesota, I'd be the first one running outside to see where it's at. My mom would be freaking out, like, get back in here, blah, blah, blah. The tornado's warning, you gotta get in the basement. And I'm like, not until I see it. You know? When I see it, you know, and it's heading toward us, then I'll go down in the basement. You know? Until then, I want to see it. Yeah, I was a weird kid. I should have been a storm chaser. If I were to do it all over again, if somehow I could go back in time to when I was like 4 years old or something, you know, I would implant in my head, be a storm chaser, be a storm chaser. That's your calling. I ignored it.
Well, here's my calling right now. I got somebody coming on my podcast. Hang on. Oh, you guys can't hear this. Hang on. Oh, I was talking. You guys couldn't hear me. I got somebody coming on the podcast in a couple of weeks, probably. She's what she knew was a personal friend of that Warren woman. I think that's her name, Warren. The one with Annabelle, the doll, that movie. Remember that movie? The doll was possessed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Conjuring movies have been made.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, that's the one. So anyway, she was a personal friend. That woman's died, actually. I spoke to her a couple times on the phone, that woman, but she died a couple years ago. So anyway, but she was a personal friend, and she's like even better than this Warren. She has more powers, I guess, supposedly, and she's worldwide known. So she's gonna come on my podcast show. So maybe you guys get some free spiritual advisement there, huh? Free readings. Would that be something if they give you some stuff?
Definitely let me know.
Yeah.
We gotta let Daniel know. Daniel and Kathy know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on their show. Well, Daniel, I want to hear the two of them on your show.
Yeah, we'll get him on eventually. So yeah. I don't think he'd like me having this woman on. He doesn't agree with that stuff. He says that's wrong. You shouldn't do that. But I don't know. They had prophets back in the day. Why can't a person be a prophet today? You know? Yeah, right? Well, yeah, casting out demons and
Well, I
everything.
mean, if there's demons in the world, you know, if the devil has demons in the world, then God has to have the equivalent, you know, to fight those demons, right? There's got to be a balance. There's only one creator. He created everything. The demons, even the powers that they.
That's very odd.
I thought Lucifer created the demons.
No.
God, you know, created Lucifer. Wasn't Lucifer a fallen angel that created the demons?
No, Satan can't create nothing. He can't create life or spiritual life. Only God could. Now he could turn people. He could turn spirits against, God.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
But I don't think he can't create it, you know. Well, I would imagine so, but some people say no. They stay out of that world. So I don't know. I disagree with that. I don't think there's anything definitive in the Bible that's going to stay with it. Now, sorcery and stuff like that, astrology, yes, does normally do that. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
when you're afraid for your life, you know.
Well, that one. Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta go to somebody good instead of going to the doctor. Otherwise, you know,
Yeah.
you're doing fun by that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gotta be a healthy, present, you know, good, positive, loving substance, right?
Yeah. You gotta be ready to get rid of these bottles and whatnot. But you know, it's just, you never know. I mean, I don't know. People are just getting ready to get rid of everything. But, you know, again, there's nothing about it that you can't spin it up against it, you know, and take on people. I mean, like I said, the awesome cats out there, cats that, you know, it's pretty wonderful stuff, you know. I mean, it's good. You know, that's really nice. Well, I see that. I don't see what's wrong with that. I really don't. Which is not right. Witchcraft. You know, you're not going to be cast spells. He's only going to be if he had a vision. If he had a vision about you or something in your life. What's wrong with that? You know, I think there's anything wrong with that. You know, I don't know. I don't see anything in the Bible that says contradicts that. You know, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
No, you know, God could, especially, you know, if you have an evil spirit that is surrounding you, an evil spirit that is not just affecting you but other people, God could suddenly give you the power to defeat that. You could get extra power, right? Maybe even
Yeah.
temporarily,
Yeah.
just to fight that demon off.
Sure.
And then once the job is done, God could go, okay, now I'm going to take those powers away.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've heard stories. Yeah, I've heard stories about stuff like that. So I'm sure this woman will explain it all to us. She would probably be the one to ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to possibilities in that sense. I mean, because it is so mysterious.
Yeah.
And, you know, they talk about, like, when we're thinking about energy and when we're thinking about even atomic energy, you know, all that energy that's holding our nucleus together so compactly, and then the electrons go around it, you know, and even when we die and we decompose, uh, you know, the science says that there is more energy that we don't know where it goes. You know, we can kind of sense where some of it goes, but
Well,
not all of it. It's an incredible
yeah.
amount of energy that we're talking about here. And so where does it go? You know, there's all kinds of stuff that we just can't explain. And maybe we're never meant to understand it.
Well, this woman was going to explain it. I mean, she was a personal friend of that Warren woman, and we know that she was very famous and did a lot of that stuff, and that was true. That true story. I wish I would have went up to her house that when she invited me, man. I wish I would have went, you know, but I didn't go. No. What about it? What about it? Beat him up. Beat him up, you said? Oh, well, I don't remember that survival. Huh. I'm pretty scared. Ain't nothing leaping on me. Ain't gonna happen. You see, it tried to choke me and come up from behind me. That video tried to attack me from behind.
Yeah, like that video, especially where you showed it up.
always hanging out with them. A lot of stuff, a lot of times, logging the morning, the battle today, so there's a lot of stuff. Living the whole Christian life. But what we want that way. What we go from general, mental, physical, material, spiritual, salvation, baptism, the Holy Spirit, spiritual, soul, body, God, faith, faith, not faith, short and sweet, Christian life, battle against evil, charismatic, witchcraft, chronic survival, blessings and curses, sun in your life, demons and curses in your life, Satan and master plan to destroy the human race, objections about bitterness, rebellion, unforgiveness, conscious and subconscious mind, deliverance from mind, body and mind, deliverance from the field, healing your home and your person, mass deliverance, individual deliverance, teaching and counseling, maintaining deliverance, Christianity, discipline for the mind and body, learn about the real enemy, dealing with the reality of life, divine healing and divine health. That's family, infirmity, weakness, sickness, disease, Christian innocent lies, not true, destiny of fantasy, truth, lies, deliverance, Christian fable, witness. It's got everything. It's got every kind. Prophecy, it's got everything. Battle with tradition, not covered. Prayer of thanksgiving. It's got a lot of good stuff. List of demons. It's got a list of all the demons. Right? Wow. Wow. False dreams and visions. False denial of theatrics. Sophistication. Greed, gluttony, drunkenness, mind control, witchcraft, rebellion. Wow. It's got a lot of deep things, a lot of deep stuff. And here's the Bible verse that covers everything. Why did Jesus have to be glorious to Christ? That's what I was saying before. Stand up and fight for the I want to know something, right? If God, if angels can't die, right? Then why would God give these things like this with swords and shields? What is the swords? Right? Makes sense? Anybody answer that question?
Just like regular sword. It's kind of like like an Excalibur kind of thing where
Okay.
the sword isn't just the physical metal, but they're powered by something. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, what is spiritual warfare? If we are warriors for Christ, then how do we fight the war using spiritual warfare? You know, the war consists of two fronts, in earthly and heavenly. On earth, we do not war against humans, but against the demons and inhumans. We do not fight physically, mentally, spiritually, or materially with our brothers or sisters. So, saved or unsaved. You know, so it's a lot of deep stuff here, man. A lot of deep stuff. How about those? What about those who will not fight the Lord's battle? A lot of people like that out there. Yeah, said that. Exactly. You are our human and spiritual enemies. What are we supposed to do? Does God work through us?
There's definitely a question.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
I've been around since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
These times, the first time in human history that we've been faced with
Yeah.
ultimate evil surrounding us with the moon.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And false gods, false prophets, false, we thought, oh, well, look at even the Catholic religion, and look at kings and queens. It kings claim, their power because they claim that they were, God, they are divine. God filled them. They are kings because God gave them that power. They are the messenger of God. They are the hand of God. That's why they're kings. And that was false. We know. That God was used as their means for power and control over their kingdom. And people believed it. If they needed somebody that they could, touch, see to be, to be somebody who acknowledges God's divine nature as well. And so the legacy of having kings and queens for, centuries upon centuries, and, just by blood, even to incest, which is the most hypocritical thing about it, like, marry your brother, marry your aunt, whatever, to keep the bloodline pure, because not to keep God's bloodline pure, even though, incest isn't something that God would ever promote or condone. It's such a sin. You're not supposed to be with your brother or sister, aunt or father. A father is not supposed to impregnate his own daughters, that kind of thing. But that's exactly the kind of bullshit that royal family is propagated for centuries in human history.
All right.
Can't get around it.
Reasons for learning. The main reason we are teaching you how to do basic deliverance is that every Christian should be able to cast out demons, at least in their own family. Later on, God may lead you to deliverance in your home or your church. God told us to train an army for His use. You are part of that army. We are in a battle. We are in a battle. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You know, basic deliverance, rejection, bitterness, rebellion, and unforgiveness. You know, that the person may have become demonized while in the womb by sin of the ancestors for causes other than rejection, bitterness, and rebellion. If so, another approach is required.
Whoa, it's a whoa.
Yeah.
So much for an unborn being innocent.
I know, right?
Wow.
I know. That's interesting.
Wow.
That's a little contradictory.
Well, you know what? And we were talking about abortion earlier, and in the chat room, I was like, you know what? You know, maybe not, you know, race is one thing. Who has sirens in the
I
background?
don't know. Maybe. So,
Alright. Okay.
yeah,
You know, but when we were
Robert, tell me, do me a favor. Tell me, shut up.
okay. Yeah, it sounded like it was right next door or something. Like,
Tell him to turn it off.
shut up, we're doing a podcast. But, yeah, like, what was I saying?
Abortion.
When it comes to, like, abortion and incest, I think what you're saying with it kind of falls in line to what I was saying. Race is one thing, but incest is another. Right? I mean, throughout the dawn of human history, we learned thousands of years ago that incest creates fucked up people. You know, and maybe that's kind of what they're referencing is when it's a brother and sister, or like I said earlier, a father that impregnates his daughter, that demonizes the blood, you know, and even Native Americans who definitely had no concept of Christianity way before we ever set foot on the continent, Native Americans would even have like truces between, you know, normally, you know, conflict tribes around them merely to intermarry, to intermate, because they knew that when there's too much inbreeding, the offspring are fucked up. You know, fucked up physically, fucked up mentally, you know, fucked up spiritually. They, you know, the offspring of incest and, you know, was looked at as being evil.
Has anyone here faced death? I mean, literally faced death. You know, when you knew you were going to die. Let's put it that way.
Not like you.
Okay. Oh, no dreams or anything that you can remember? Or visions? Huh. Really? Wow, that's interesting. Very interesting. Huh. Can't remember that. Huh. What if anything? That's what I was asking. Subconsciously, things that never came back to you. You know? Hey. Yeah. Wow. Boy, don't go to stop signs with you. I think I'll get out of the car while you cross that intersection. Yeah. Wow.
Well, that, yeah, even though it might be in one way, look at the opposite direction anyway. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I never know. when I get on the on-ramp, I'm still on the lookout for somebody going the opposite direction. You know, they're going off the freeway and there's, you know, other on-ramp going the opposite.
Yeah, all the people, yeah. All the people that died in car accidents, you know?
For me, I had two close encounters, but never actually died. One was my sister's friend's older brother almost drowned me in the pool, and I was just about ready to pass out kind of thing. I remember going limp, you know, and then he let up, and then I was able to, you know, get to the surface and breathe and cough out all the water and shit.
Right.
So I came pretty close. And then the second time was my own car accident where I was in the car and everything, and I know I was unconscious, not sure for how long, but you know, but I know that it was still daylight when I was conscious, and then it was dark when I became conscious, and that's when I heard the voice of my spirit of my high school friend that had just died in a very similar accident, not even a week before. I heard her voice inside her pickup truck going around a curve. She crashed. She was unconscious, and she woke up while her truck caught on fire. It literally burned to death.
Oh,
There were witnesses that
oh
tried
my
to
Lord.
get to her, but there was too much fire, and they listened to her
Oh,
screams
no.
of being burned to death.
Oh,
And
God.
my car accident was almost identical. I was right around the curve. It was a couple hours after my grandfather's funeral. And I did a 180 and ended up sideways. And I heard her voice. Wake me up and told me to turn the engine on. Lori, turn the engine on. And like I didn't even open my eyes, and I just kind of reached for it, you know. I remember just reaching for it, feeling for it, turning the engine on. And then I finally, and then I started becoming conscious. I could smell the gas. That was leaking, you know. And look at that. And I had my best friend, my two best friends in the car, one right next to me. And I think I told you about this. Like this is when I wasn't wearing my seatbelt. And if I had been, I would have been struck because I did a 180 and then the car slipped into the road, hitting the telephone post. And so I ended up sideways over the passenger seat, and I ended up shooting my best friend Sheila in the passenger seat. My driver's seat got shoved up to the steering wheel, and the steering wheel got bent to shit. So if I had been wearing my seatbelt, I would have been stuck. You know, the force was so much that the steering wheel got stepped out of shape and pointed up.
Wow.
If I had been wearing my seatbelt, I would have been in between, you know, the seat and that steering wheel. I would have been totally crushed. But because of it, because I wasn't seatbelted in, you know, my body went to the passenger side. I ended up shooting my best friend, and so all the broken glass from the windshield and stuff on the impact, that saved her from that flying glass. And you know, it got in my back and the back of my head. And that's like how I, you know, that's how I kind of actually became conscious. You know what I mean? Was waking up in that position. And my best friend Sheila, she had a few scratches in the glass in her hair, but that was about it. And my other best friend that was in the back passenger side, she cut her head because the window had broken on that side when we landed. She was bleeding pretty good, but it turned out that she got pretty stitches. That was the worst of the industry. The car was total. That was like a country picture of it. Like, if you looked at this car, you would not guess that 3 people walked out of there with the worst of the injuries friend in the back seat, passenger side, had gotten a complete distance to report it. She would have never guessed. But Sheila would have been more injured if I had been wearing my seatbelt. I would have been dead. But if I had been wearing my seatbelt, then I wouldn't have flown over, my body wouldn't have flown over to the passenger side shielding her. So she would have definitely been way more injured with the flying glass, because my back caught it, but I remember Nathan's voice frequently, she just died, like I said, like 4 or 5 days before that accident. Very similar, burn to death, and I just, that's the first thing I remember is Nathan's voice telling me, Lori, turn the engine off. And I hadn't even opened my eyes, and I just kind of remember vaguely, like, this feeling of formation and turning it off, and then going unconscious.
Okay, all right. So that now, imagine now the people you said you were witnessing and hearing her scream and they couldn't get to her. I would have ran into the fire out of here. I couldn't let that happen. No way. I mean, there's just no way. I mean, how could you
Yeah,
be burning?
it was a Dolphin blade. It was just like, it exploded, You didn't wake up in time to turn the engine off. And she was screaming and it just exploded. And there was nothing that the bystander could do.
How many people were there? I mean, watching. Like, was there a crowd? It must have happened really fast.
Oh no, it was just one. It was on a country road. So the bystander that came along, obviously saw her truck, her pickup truck on the side of the road pulled over, and they got out, and they were like, oh my god, they were starting to get down the ditch. They started to go down the ditch, and then the truck was ignited, and then the next thing was home, and there was no getting there.
Wow. I can't imagine seeing one of my family members go up there trying to walk by. I'd do the other one myself. Couldn't get to the car. Man. Rough.
Yeah, thankfully it wasn't a family member. It was, somebody else on the small road. And just off of Lakeville and Farmington, Minnesota, very much rural community, lots of farmland, and that person just happened to be driving the lane, that
Wow.
she was unconscious, and that witness, or that person that it was, they didn't know there was anybody even in the truck. From what they could see, they couldn't hear anything, and then but once the truck ignited, and she started burning, that's when she regained consciousness and started screaming that she was burning.
That's scary. That's
And that's the weird thing. It's like, just a few days later, almost exactly the same kind of circumstance with me, with my two friends in the car, if I wouldn't have heard that voice, her voice tell me, Lori Ann, turn the engine off, Lori Ann, turn the engine off.
anybody else here? Anybody else here?
Same goddamn thing would have happened.
Anybody else in the car here? That would be something, huh?
No, my best friend Sheila and Bobby that were in there, they didn't hear it. I didn't hear anything from them. No, clearly no voice. I knew Lisa's voice. I thought, I was friends with her in high school and stuff. I knew her voice. And then the even weirder part about it is where I had this crash is on this road going into Stillwater. And I found out later from a mutual friend of mine that she, and I was friends with her, And I took her to the spot where I had the accident. And she's like, holy shit, Lorianne, I know this spot, right? And we walked up the road a little bit, you know, and there was like a small, like a little small cave, maybe like 500 feet away from where my accident was. And he's like, look at this. And Inga and her father had carved their initials in the rock in this little cave, like maybe 500 feet from where I had my accident. Like, what are the fucking odds of that? You know, she's like, I've been here. I was there when, you know, Inga and her dad, I was with them, you know, when they carved their initials in the rock in this little cave.
That name.
It was a very deep cave.
That's a
But,
real name,
you know,
Inga?
it's like, so,
That's a real name, Inga?
yeah, Inga. Yeah, her name's Inga. It's in our yearbook, too, like, the yearbook.
Why would somebody name their kid Inga? I don't understand. What nationality was it? English?
I don't know.
I mean, just think, like, how did you come up with that name, you know? Why did you call my kid Inga? Inga. I mean, why would you come up with that, you know?
But normally, Inga is normally like a Scandinavian name, and I think her dad was Scandinavian, but her mom, I think, was something else. Because it maybe, you know, like, maybe Middle Eastern maybe or something.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Inga had kind of like, you know, darker skin, you know, not dark, but definitely not white, totally white.
Yeah, no, I got it.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, but Inga's a typically Scandinavian name.
Yeah. It's not American, you know, that's what I was saying. Like, that's what I was wondering. Like, you know, people just don't say, I'm going to call my kid Inga. I've just never heard that before. It must be like from a different culture, you know?
Yeah, it's typically Scandinavian, and her dad was Scandinavian, but I'm not sure the ethnicity of her mother, but it is, you know, like I said, it's maybe, you know, maybe Middle Eastern.
Yeah. No, that's understandable, man.
You know, from India, you know, kind of a vibe, I think. She has kind of a, not like black hair, but like dark brown hair, and kind of like a darker olive skin, you know what I mean? Color kind of thing. I think it was really cool.
What about John Doe? What about John Doe there, Mr. John Doe? We know you weren't called John Doe. Anyway, how about you? You got any experiences there, Mr. Doe? Oh, man. Have you ever like think you're gonna die near death or something or anything like that? No. Oh, okay. All right. It's a very scary feeling. Very scary feeling. There's no way out. Wow. Yeah, isn't that weird how you like you go into shock and you don't realize what you're doing? You know? Oh, boy. Yeah, that's sad to sometimes see people like that, you know? Yeah.
Well, for me, it's like my adrenaline kicked in. For me, yeah, after that, it was like, you know, I was kind of like in this like oblivion a little bit. And then when I saw my other best friend that was in the passenger side back seat and her head bleeding, it was pretty nuts, but I could definitely see she was bleeding pretty good in her head. And like that's when the adrenaline kicked in. And so I got on the hatchback. I was driving a 75 and got on the back of the hatchback. And I lost my shoes. I wasn't even aware, but I went looking up this hill on the driveway. So the house is up the road with a gravel driveway uphill going to the house. And I just looked up there, to get help and get, some bandages, to help my friend. And I didn't even realize I was barefoot, and I'm looking up this gravel driveway, and then, I knock on the door, and they answer, I'm like, yeah, we heard, we called the sheriff, or, we called 911. And I'm like, great, can you give me some towels or bandages or something, because my friend's head is bleeding. And so they gave me the stuff, and then I went looking back down the gravel, and the tent of her and everything. I didn't feel a fucking thing, but, when we got to the hospital, the paramedics arrived and all that, there's another story with me getting really fucking irritated with the sheriff because he kept asking me for my ID. And I'm like, it's in the fucking Payless bag in the car, because I had my purse and my taser clothes and everything together after my grandpa's funeral. So I had this big, those Payless two-coat bags, one of those big bags. Yeah. I had my taser clothes, my purse, and everything in that bag. And I kept calling him, like, it's in the Payless bag in the car, like 3 fucking times. Sheriff deputy asked me where my ID was. And I'm like, it's in the fucking chair, in the Payless bag in the fucking car. Yeah. What do you want me to do? Crawl back in the fucking car and get it for you?
Gotta have that ID. Gotta have that ID.
Irritated. And, but, when we got to the hospital, it was like, I didn't realize, I was so adrenaline rush that once the ambulance came and we got to the hospital, I didn't realize, the bottom of my feet were seriously bleeding. From running on that gravel road and everything, and just the full force, uphill and downhill and back again, and I didn't feel a goddamn thing. And, man, my bottom of my feet were all beat up, and I had a hard time walking after that for a while, because they had the damage of my feet.
Gotta have that ID.
I did not feel any of it. I did not feel any of it until that adrenaline wore off.
Hey, gotta have that ID, God forbid.
I have that fucking ID. Yeah, exactly. I was so irritated. I was like, there's the Payless bag in the fucking car. How many times did I tell you? I'm not calling back to the goddamn car to get it for you.
They're like robots.
Find the Payless bag, and then there's nobody in there. I don't know.
They're like robots.
And then, yeah, they're like robots. It's like, what the fuck? If you wanted some goddamn bag, call in the fucking car and find it. I'm not going back in there.
Sir, gotta follow policy. Gotta follow policy.
There was enough I could do to help my friends up. I got my friends up. This kid worked sideways. I was so glad I had a house tonight, right? Said that so I could open up the hatchback, and so I crawled out, and that's how I helped Sheila get out first. And then I got Bonnie out, my other friend, and I was strong enough, I was tall enough and everything, able to drag her out. And then I just smelled the gas and everything. And so I remember, dragging her even further away from the car. I didn't want her to get any, gasoline on her or anything. And then after that, that's when I looked it up to the house in the street barefoot. Like I said, I had no idea I was here barefoot. I was not even aware. I had no idea how much I put out of the bottom of my feet when I was in the hospital.
So I'll try. Maybe I'll call that woman tomorrow. See if I can get her on sooner. See if I can get her on. I had something. I got mine up with something to do this week, so I want to book it. But see what happens. Plus, I'm scared of Blog Talk Radio. You know, if it, you know, when somebody is really
I was
important,
just gonna say the same thing.
I'll be pissed.
It's embarrassing. I haven't wanted to book anybody either. I've had 3 guests on my show, and you know, my 3-year anniversary was yesterday. And I had 3 guests on my show, but I'm goddamn afraid
Yeah.
to invite anybody on the show and be embarrassed.
Yeah. I know. Yep. I'll be pissed. I mean, I chewed them out. I told them to go to hell, subject, you know, I've had it out with them. You should see the message I send them, you know? I think I get computer generated responses, really. I don't think I'm really. Only one time I saw somebody replied years ago, and like, I'm so angry. I said, I'm gonna sue you, I'm gonna take your paycheck, your house. You know, I remember I used to drive one off on them. And the girl responded back, I'm sorry, I don't know, it's my job. You know. So, I don't give a shit. You know, you tell me you're gonna do something, do it.
It's just a canned answer. You know, it's probably real simple, but you know, they're getting the canned answer that's the fastest one by their boss, and that's how they're instructed. Okay, all these things that you know, and you know, copy paste this canned answer to everybody.
Yeah, it's like eBay and Amazon. They have computer generated responses that you people read from. But don't even question that. I still don't even question that. Answer the question. You know, they say the same thing. It's like, shut up. You know, I don't want to hear all that. Act like a human being. You know? Remember that guy I was debating on eBay that day? Remember?
I have to do that.
You heard that interview.
The same way every time.
You heard that phone call I had with that guy on eBay, remember?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Sure. I asked him flat out, I said, where am I talking? India? You know? I mean, I wasn't sure. And they lied to me. He lied to me. Nothing he said came to be. It didn't happen. You know?
I assure you.
Yeah. Yep. Lied. Flat out lied.
Why do you think that? You know, like, I'm applying for customer service positions, but I know that's exactly what I'm going to have to do. You know, you got to give their canned answer to everything.
Yep.
You got to look up their frequently asked questions and then read the script. And if you deviate from it, then your boss is your head.
Yeah. I couldn't do it.
I'll do it because I need the money, but wow. You know, I'm not a robot. But that's the thing. AI is replacing all that.
Yes, it is.
Not all these layouts.
Yep.
You know, it's laying off 15,000 people. It laid off, Shell laid off 12,500. All because they implemented AI. You know, they're replacing a lot of these, you know, level customer service or tech, you know, customer service for AI to answer it.
Well, I yeah. Well, I wrote legislation. I wrote a bunch of, sample legislation bills so that if I was elected, I wanted to have it ready and everything to work out. I wrote an e-commerce bill for any company doing business in North Carolina. They would have to have a live customer service representative that would answer, because some of these places don't have it. Like YouTube. And who's going to call YouTube? Nobody. Facebook. Who's going to call? Nobody. Well, they take your money from these places. You need to have some sort of customer service platform that people can call and get answers. So I wrote up something on that. I mean, it made it law. Look, you're taking, because these people, you can't get no answers. PayPal, you can't get no answers when you come to Facebook.
Yeah, it's all AI generated bullshit.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Donna.
Yep, you're right. Well, so what would you recommend, John Bill? What would you recommend? Well, you never know. Yep, yep. Correct. Yeah, yeah. I know. Oh, I know. Oh, yeah, I know. They're assholes. I know. You know.
What the fuck is he being paid for?
Yeah, asshole.
God.
Correct. Oh, you just lost them there, Jessica.
You know, like, even the days of England, even the days of kings, you know, kings had to get find secure positions from their citizens one by one. Like, they'd have to sit there for, you know, scheduled time for 3 or 4 hours. They have one by one people come up to the thing for whatever it is. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's like, we can't even do that anymore.
Yeah. Real amazing.
No, but then you get arrested. Then you get arrested. I saw a video of a woman that was speaking up against, you know, the district policy, and they had her arrested for nothing, for absolutely nothing,
Really?
because they didn't want to talk about it. She was up in front of the committee. I haven't tried to find the video yet, and I was just appalled by it. She was up there, you know, with the local committee hearing to talk about some local issue, and and they didn't want to hear it. They're like, no, we're not going to hear this issue today. You're
Huh.
confused. And she's like, no, I have the right to petition for grievances. You haven't heard me out.
Yeah.
And yeah, they got her arrested on the spot for not leaving.
Wow. Wow.
We can't even do that. Yeah, it's really fucking crazy. It's like,
Tyranny. Tyranny.
go ahead. Oh, I was.
like, this was a case where, like, you know, according to their own rules, the person that's up to, you know, the grievances with the committee, should have 5 minutes. And she wasn't even halfway through. She was only 2 minutes into her grievance, and this committee member shut her down. You know, we're not going to hear this issue today. And she insisted on being heard, and that's like, you know, security, please have to work her out.
Yeah.
And then she refused, and then she resisted, and that's when she was arrested for resisting.
Man, I screwed up.
Representative to give them time at a meeting, but they don't ever get it, so they show up and just sign up real quick right before the meeting, and then when they get up to the mic, they just talk about anything they want to talk about because they're tired of being shunned, and then they get thrown out because they're talking off topic. But it's crazy, and there's always some little sneaky scam to.
Yeah, but you know, you got to realize that's exactly why they will never have the topic on the agenda. You know, so yeah, okay, today here's the agenda, here's the topics we're going to talk about, and then somebody comes up with a topic that they don't want to talk about, and then that topic is never talked about. It's never on the agenda. So what the fuck do you do?
Yeah. Exactly. Criminals, man. They're all criminals.
Now, these are the kind of things we need to find answers for sure.
And then I remember, you know, I took part in this in Pacific City, Oregon, a few years ago. I took part in this hearing about them not allowing, you know, Pacific City is this particular section of beach was one of the few sections of beach that you could still drive on. So it was a very popular area because you could just, you know, drive down the ramp and you could drive on the beach and park it and have fun. And that's something I did many times. I brought my best friend when she came to visit, my nephew when he came to visit, my mom when she visited me, especially my mom because, you know, she was getting more physically challenged. And so it was, you know, very convenient to just be able to drive right down on the beach and find a spot and park it, you know. And enjoy it. And they had this big meeting because they wanted to ban driving, you know, vehicles on that section of beach over safety concerns, right? So that was their premise, was safety concerns. And all of these people were like, yeah, nobody should be driving on the beach. It's an eyesore, blah, blah, blah. You know, and the thing about Oregon coast is the Oregon coast is owned by Oregonians. There's no private ownership of the beach, right? Land ownership is a certain distance away from the coastline, right? And so, you know, and there's not very many places left that you could actually drive on the beach and do that. So they're citing safety concerns, and so they finally brought me on. I was on hold. I was sitting there waiting, and I'm listening to all these people gripe about, you know, yeah, it's an eyesore, and there shouldn't be that many cars on the beach, blah, 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 you know, and it's just mostly whining shit. And I'm like, and so when they finally brought me on, I'm like, I thought the premise of this was not a matter of preference or convenience, but a matter of safety. And so if this is really a matter of safety, can anybody tell me how many people have actually been injured or died because of somebody driving on the beach? Where's the safety issue here? Because every time I've been there, no incidences ever occurred where somebody was hit or struck by a vehicle or injured by a vehicle in any way, or property damaged by a vehicle in any way. You know, I'm like, so where's the safety issue here? I want to know the statistics. Who actually has been injured? Where is this grievance really coming from? And you know what? Then I got people on my side. You know, I saw in like the chat, because they had a live chat, they're like, this lady brings up a good point. Yeah, nobody knows. Nobody knew. Nobody could produce any fucking statistic at all. You know, and I'm like, I will tell you right now, the higher risk is the fact that the road going into Pacific City is a 2-lane road, and when there's not enough parking in the parking lot that's just above it, everybody's parked along the road, and they're bringing all their fucking beach gear and everything, and there's hardly enough room for 2 cars to pass, especially without hitting somebody. I'm like, the real safety concern is that. Because I know I've almost hit people. I know I've had to slam on my brakes, you know, because somebody comes out from the side of their fucking car, opens their car window, you know, and I've almost hit them, and I've had to slam on my brakes. The safety issue is not driving on the beach. The safety issue is the 2-lane road, and there's not enough parking, so everybody parks along the side of the road, you know, in their vehicles that can't get down to the beach, of course, you know, like regular normal cars. You know, I have a 4x4, you know, so anybody with a decent, you know, 4x4 vehicle can get down there, you know, and that's the vehicles that park on the beach, people that can actually drive in the sand and shit. But these little fucking, you know, pieces of tin cars would never make it. They get stuck, right? And so they park all along, like a fucking mile up along this narrow road, you know, to make their way to the beach. And I'm like, that's the real safety issue. You know, so I'm like, if you're going to ban, you know, people from driving on the beach and parking on the beach, you know, don't do that until you solve this problem with all the people that can't make it. There's just not enough adequate parking. That's the real safety issue. But nobody can produce any incidences at all where somebody's been injured or hurt because of somebody driving on the beach and running into them or whatever. You know, every time I've been there, and I explained that to them, and I got a lot of people on my side. They were like, oh, yeah, she's right. You know, we have no statistics. Nobody's presenting any facts here, you know. It's all just whining and bitching and moaning, right? And, of course, what did they do? They banned driving on that section of beach. Why? Because they built a big fucking convention center, and because of that convention center and all the money that went into it, then they were able to expand the parking area around it. But still, because of that convention center and the amount of traffic, there's still not enough. Even though they expanded the whole parking area, they revamped it and all this other shit and expanded it, there's still not enough parking. So they still have the same fucking problem there, you know, with cars lined up a mile up this narrow 2-lane road, presenting a safety problem, but yet there's, you know, people can't drive down to that fucking area of the beach to help alleviate some of those issues. It was safer parking on the fucking beach than it was on the side of the goddamn road. And yet they still did it anyway. It didn't fucking matter. They didn't care. They had their agenda. Why? Because that convention center meant money. You know, it was all money, 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 money. Their agenda was all about money. And they just, you know, said it was a safety issue, and it really wasn't. And I'm the one that called it out.
Yep. Let me end the YouTube. I'm going to end the YouTube chat here. There we go. And then, there we go.